What if I told you that the lost city of Atlantis isn't at the bottom of the ocean? It has been staring at us this whole time, hiding in plain sight, in the middle of the most hostile desert on Earth. For centuries, explorers searched the depths of the Atlantic looking for sunken temples. They found nothing. But look at this satellite image of Mauritania in West Africa. This is not a crater. It is not a volcano. This is the Richat Structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. And when you compare it to Plato's ancient description of Atlantis, the similarities are terrifying. Welcome to Off the Atlas. Today, we rewrite history. To find the truth, we must open the ancient texts, specifically the Dialogue of Critias. Plato described Atlantis in extreme detail. He didn't say it was a random island. He said it was circular, divided into concentric rings of water and land. He wrote, "There were 2 zones of land and 3 of water, surrounding the center like a wheel." Now, look at the Richat structure again. It has exactly the same layout. High ridges of land, separated by deep valleys where water once flowed. But the math is even scarier. Plato said the city measured 127 stadia. That was an ancient Greek unit of measurement. If we convert that into modern numbers, it equals 23.5 kilometers. When we measure the Eye of the Sahara from end to end today, guess what we find? It is exactly 23.5 kilometers wide. Is this a geological coincidence, or is it the smoking gun we have been ignoring? But skeptics will ask. Atlantis was an island. The Sahara is a desert. This is where it gets interesting. Science tells us that the Sahara was once green, lush, and full of huge lakes and rivers. This was called the Green Sahara period. If you zoom in on the Richat structure, you don't see wind erosion, you see water erosion. The striations in the rock show that massive amounts of water flowed out of here, dragging the debris into the ocean. Plato wrote, "Atlantis was swallowed by the sea and vanished, leaving only a shoal of mud. Today, the Eye of the Sahara is literally surrounded by miles of deep mud. But mud is not the only thing left behind. If you travel just north of the Eye, you find something impossible, the Wadi el-Hitan, also known as the Valley of the Whales. Hundreds of massive ancient whale skeletons lying perfectly preserved in the middle of the burning sand. Archaeologists also found ancient fishing hooks and harpoons buried in the dunes where there is no water for hundreds of miles. This proves that a massive ocean ecosystem existed here. And finally, the date. Plato said Atlantis was destroyed 9,000 years before his time. That puts the destruction exactly at 11,600 years ago. Geologists call this the Younger Dryas period. It was a time when a sudden cataclysm melted the ice caps and raised the global sea level instantly. The timeline matches to the exact year. Critics often ask, if this was a city, where are the ruins? Where are the buildings? Remember, this was a catastrophic tsunami. Everything was washed away into the ocean, but not everything is gone. Local tribes in Mauritania have been finding strange artifacts for decades. They find thousands of perfectly round stone spheres. Plato specifically wrote that the Atlanteans built their walls using different colored stones, black, white, and red. Guess what colors we find in the rocks of the Eye? Exactly those 3 colors. And then there is the gold. Plato described Atlantis as a wealthy empire covered in gold. Today, Mauritania is one of the poorest countries in the world, yet it is surprisingly rich in one specific resource: gold. Gold dust can still be found in the sand, the last glittering remains of a fallen empire. If you still have doubts, look at the maps, not modern maps, ancient ones. Herodotus was a famous Greek historian, born 400 years before Christ. He created one of the first maps of the known world. Look closely at West Africa, right here, near the Atlas Mountains. What does it say? It doesn't say desert. It clearly labels the people living there as Atlantes. This map was drawn 2,000 years before the Eye of the Sahara was discovered from space. They knew exactly who lived there. There is one final piece of the puzzle, the name. According to Plato, the first king of Atlantis was named Atlas. Now, look at the map of North Africa right next to the Eye of the Sahara. What is the name of the massive mountain range that guards this desert? They are called the Atlas Mountains, named by the locals thousands of years ago, and the ocean next to it, it is called the Atlantic Ocean, literally meaning the Sea of Atlas. The evidence is etched into the geography itself. Atlantis is not lost. We just forgot where to look. The history books are wrong, and the desert is hiding the greatest secret of mankind. If you want to uncover more forbidden history, subscribe to Off the Atlas. The journey has just begun.